All right, first graders, almost second graders, we are going to look at lessons 13 and 14 in our Getting Ready for Second Grade unit. So 13 and 14. And 13 is building off of lesson 12 when we talked about non-standard units of measurement. And so we are going to instead of having to necessarily get those non-standard measuring tools, they are already going to have some pictures laid out for you, and you're just having to count and determine that measurement. And then chapter 14 or lesson 14 is going to be comparing lengths. So remember when we talked about comparisons, that is which one is longer, shorter, those that are greater than, less than, equal, and things like that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This shouldn't take too long. It's pretty self-explanatory, and this is very, very similar to what we had already done in first grade. So how can you use a non-standard measuring tool to find a length? So we're not looking for an exact measurement because we're not actually measuring in inches or centimeters or anything like that. We want to just know what is the closest count that would measure that pencil. So about how long is the pencil? The end of the pencil and the end of the paper clip must line up. So that's right here. That's your starting point. They have to line up evenly. And then you are going to lay it out and measure how far to the end. So count how many paper clips from one end of the pencil to the other. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is about 4 paper clips long. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. About how long? So it lines up perfectly here. So we're going to see about how long it goes to the end. 1, 2. So that is about 2 paper clips. And then these line up perfectly here. And we're going to go down to here. And that's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost 5 full paper clips. All right, so you've got the reteaching on the back here that you can measure a few more things. And then on the inside, that's exactly what you're doing. You're just measuring based on what they've already laid out for you. All right. Lesson 14, we are comparing. So we are writing 1, 2, and 3 in order, and we are wanting to order these from shortest to longest. So we're going to place a number 1 at the shortest, a 3 at the longest, and then 2 will go in the middle, right? So just by looking, so if we ignore all of this just by looking at them, can you tell which one is the shortest? Absolutely, because if we look at the stopping points, they all start at the exact same place, and the stopping point is here, here, and here. So this one is going to be the shortest, so we label that number 1. Then this one ends next, which is going to be labeled 2. And then the longest is here, so we're going to label that 3. Now, it wants you to actually measure using cubes. You might not have those at home, so if you do not, then I suggest you, I really don't even know where they got 4 because the cubes, oh, these aren't cubes. I bet they're wanting to use the counters, like the tens and ones. So the little tiny cubes that we had. So you all probably do not have those with you. So if you have a ruler at home, you are more than welcome to just measure them in centimeters if you would like, and just put about how many centimeters long is it. That might be pretty close to those measurements, but they already told you up here that it's about 4, about 6, and about 8. Okay, so if you want to measure by centimeters, you can. If you need to use a paper clip, or you do need to use some other non-standard unit in your home, anything that you can find that is just, you know, not even as wide as your nail, something pretty small, then just use that to measure with. So again, we are ordering them from shortest to longest, and we're going to number them 1, 2, and then longest is going to be 3. So just by looking at them, I can go ahead and put them in number order. So shortest is going to be number 1, and then the next is this one, so that's going to be 2, and then the longest is down here, 3. Okay, so whatever you decide to measure them with, you are more than welcome to. You could even, if you do have a paper clip, you could probably take paper clips and use it going this way. So if I were to grab, let's just see if that measures up. If I were to line them up this way, that'd be pretty close. It might be 4 or 5 paper clips. So it might be a little different, but again, that's okay. As long as you're using the same thing to measure. So I could pull this down here and line up these paper clips. And that's going to be about 4 paper clips wide, not long necessarily. So pick whatever you would like to use as your measuring tool. Measure each of their lengths and just document it over here. You can change that picture if you don't have those cubes. And then you're going to do the same thing on the back. And then you're going to measure some more inside. So they're all looking for cubes. So if you just find whatever item you have around your house, even if it is a centimeter ruler, then that would be perfectly fine. And then you could just write centimeter, cm, over there on the end. Okay. Now that's not a non-standard unit, but it just says compare lengths. It doesn't say you have to use a non-standard unit of measure. So practice measuring things around your house, practice measuring lengths of string and things like that. And if you all have any other questions about these math lessons, please let me know how I can help.